Alex Webster looking on. Time running out. 6 minutes and 47 seconds remain. Cowboys run first down. Danny Reeves with the football. Again, great blocking out in front of Danny Reeves. And would you believe he fumbled the football? I don't believe it.
I don't either.
Well, hello! Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you give this video a thumbs up or maybe leave a comment below or possibly even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But at least anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Before I get started with the Giants, how about them Cowgirls, huh? How about them Cowgirls? Looking good, huh? Man. Now it was, happy times and a little bummed out times. I was pulling for the Lions because in the long run, the long term, between the two games, between the Cowboy game and the Bears game, you want the Bears to lose. You want that better draft choice. And unfortunately, the Lions were just absolutely so freaking pathetic. Yeah, they couldn't help you out. So the Bears won. So now the Bears are 4-7. So that's it. Still got 6 more games to go. So yeah, but the Lions were winning 14-13. Bears got the ball a couple minutes ago, and they just walked right down the field and kicked the winning field goal as time ran out. Unbelievable. But so you kind of pulling for the Lions to beat the Bears. Just wasn't meant to be. But the Bears have some tough games coming up. So but this was certainly one of their easier games. But you were just kind of hoping maybe on Thanksgiving. I said the Lions were winning with about 2 minutes or so to go. Just couldn't hold the lead. Oh well. Anyway, but then at the 4 o'clock game with the Cowboys, good game. Really good game. Regardless if you wanted anybody to win, that was a really good overtime. The Raiders were ahead. The Cowboys came back. The Raiders, every time the Cowboys came back, the Raiders jumped ahead. Raiders jumped ahead. Cowboys tied it up. The Raiders went ahead, and then the Cowboys tied it back up, and then sent it to overtime, and then the Raiders won in overtime. I think the Cowboys, just to be honest, got a little, I think it was just a couple too many penalties in there. It is what it is. The Giants got screwed. As I said many a time with the Dexter Lawrence penalty against the Washington football team. He was not offside. He timed the snap perfectly. Ref threw the flag, which shouldn't have happened, and we wound up losing the game because of it. So it is what it is. But Cowboys are now 7-4. Eagles are 5-6. So if the Eagles beat the Giants, the Eagles will be 2 games behind the Cowgirls. I hate both teams. I hate I hate the Eagles more because I live in Eagle country down here in South Jersey, and I despise the Eagles. But I hate the Cowboy fans just pretty much just as much. So, it'd be interesting. If the Eagles come up and catch the Cowgirls and beat them, or if the Cowgirls don't make the playoffs or something like that, man, that's gonna be some funny stuff. But you kind of notice that, the Cowboys are a little dinged up. I know they jumped off their wonderful record. ABCD Lamb wasn't in there, Amari Cooper wasn't in there, Zeke Elliott's got a dinged up knee, so they got some injuries and all and everything, and just goes to show you, it's like what is with the Giants, You get your guys injured, they don't play, you don't play well. The Cowboys, their defense, look good at times, but they gave up I think over 500 yards of offense. The Raiders, they moved the ball. But it's just kind of funny watching the Cowboys lose. Hey, at least it was a little saving grace on Thanksgiving. But anyway, now back to the Giants. As far as getting rid of Dave Gettleman and getting rid of, just cleaning house, getting rid of everybody. Back in 1979, the Giants, the first officially named GM the Giants got, which was George Young. Before that, in the 70s, he wasn't named necessarily the GM, but he kind of handled the job, stuff that a GM would do would be Andy Robustelli. He was not very good. He didn't hire very good coaches. We did not get very good players. So he was ousted after 78, 79. George Young came to the Giants, and he hired Ray Perkins, and he drafted Phil Simms. So you have the three. Now this is the difference between back then and now. Ray Perkins lasted until 1982, and so starting in 1983, we had Bill Parcells. Now, the way it is nowadays, it's like, you can't have, George Young was still there. Phil Simms was still there. We just brought in a new coach. And it's like, okay, Bill Parcells, you're now the coach of the Giants. Oh, by the way, this is your quarterback. Oh, okay, I'll make work, make it work. After 1990, Bill Parcells retired for the first of his 3 times or 4 times that he retired. Then we had Ray Handley, and Phil Simms was still a quarterback. Actually, Phil Simms and Jeff Hostetler were the quarterbacks. But Phil Simms was still there. George Young hired Ray Handley, and it's like, oh, by the way, Ray Handley, this is your quarterback, Phil Simms, and Jeff Hostetler. Okay. Ray Handley lasted 2 years. He got fired because he sucked. And then we hired Dan Reeves in 1993, and it's like, oh, by the way, Dan Reeves, Phil Simms is your quarterback. Like, oh, okay, all right. Nowadays things are different. Nowadays it's if the GM comes in and he doesn't like he doesn't like the coach, or the coach gets fired or whatever, the GM wants to bring in his own coach, but wants to bring in his own quarterback as well too. It's like, because it's like he can bring in his own coach, but you still got the quarterback. Well, it's like, and then if the team doesn't wind up winning, well, it's like I brought in my own coach, but that's not my quarterback. So that's why we stink. So you have to. It's best so you don't hear that stuff, because you hear that stuff all the time in talk shows. Well, you brought so-and-so in, but the coach is still there. And then why do you still got the quarterback there? If you got a new coach, why didn't you get a So the things nowadays, the way the guys, the way it goes a lot of times, you clean house, you bring in a new GM, a new coach, and a new quarterback. So that way you can't hear one guy say, like the coach can't say, well, this is not my quarterback, or that's not my GM, You just do away with that. Gettleman is his fourth season. All right. 2021, after 10 games, we're 3-7. His first season was 2018. After 10 games, we were 3-7. We started 1-7, so we had to win the last 2 games, the 9th and 10th game, just to get to be 3-7. 2019, his second year, we were 2-8. Not 2-8, but we actually started off 2-11. 2020, last year, we were, after 10 games, we were 3-7. We started off 1-7, so we had to win games 9 and 10 just to get to be 3-7. So here we are in 2021, and after 10 games, once again, we are 3-7. Do you see any improvement there? No. The offense is sad. Very, very sad. The offense of the Giants ranked 25th in yards per play. They ranked 26th in total points. I mean, I can go on and on and on. I mean, we're going to get to the offensive line in just a little bit here, but first thing he said was, it's a big boys game. Well, I need to fix the offensive line. I said, I'm going to get to that in a little bit. We go to the defense. The Giants are worse than they were last year. I mean, we're kind of going backwards. They are the worst, according to ESPN. They got a pass rush win rate. All right, and the Giants are dead last. Pass rush win rate. Last year, the Giants only allowed the 9th fewest points, and we're far from that this year. And we can't cover anybody. We can't rush the passer. When we went up against Tom Brady, he just dinked and dunked his team down the field, and He's got points. We had 19 first downs in the first half. We just couldn't stop him. I mean, the soft coverage. I mean, are you serious? I mean, when you go up against good quarterbacks like Dak Prescott, maybe Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, they can dink and dunk you, right? You just play off everybody, and they're just going to dink and dunk you all the way down the field and score points. We're not covering anybody. I mean, James Bradbury's a shell of himself from last year. As I said, we can't get any pass rush. And just to show you how bad things were. Now, I realize that when we traded B.J. Hill, we got Billy Price. We needed help, okay, at the center position. But if you start looking at it, maybe it would have been better off maybe trading like a 5th or 6th round draft choice to the Bengals for Billy Price instead of getting rid of Mr. Hill. Because Hill, all right, is with the Cincinnati Bengals now. Now, if you take, Hill has 3 sacks in 10 games. He doesn't start for the Bengals, and he has 3 sacks. He has more sacks, B.J. Hill, with the Bengals in 10 games than Dexter Lawrence, Quincy Roche, Lorenzo Carter, Oshane Ximines, Ellerson Smith. I realize he's only been in there for, a little bit. All right. Tay Crowder, Cam Brown, Carter Coughlin. I can go on. Combined, those guys that I just rattled off have 2.5 sacks. I know some of them don't play a lot, or Carter Coughlin's hurt, so I can put some other guys in there too. But, we can't get a pass rush, right? And one guy who we just traded away, to get Billy Price, has 3 sacks. He has more sacks than those guys I just rattled off combined. Very, very bad. Daniel Jones, pick 6 in the 2019 draft. I mean, you see a little, every now and then, nice pass, nice this, nice that, but then you see the interception he threw against the Bucks. I mean, are you serious? Are you serious? Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Daniel Jones is the answer. It's a shame, but we drafted Saquon Barkley, number 2. And, probably won't have money to re-sign him, because if they would even re-sign him, because next year we're very strapped for cash, really strapped for cash. As I said, you drafted Saquon Barkley, your first year here, you drafted Saquon Barkley. You promised you were going to beef up the offensive line, right? Quentin Nelson was there. And I know hindsight's always 20/20. But, when you got a guard, okay, projected to go possibly in the top 5, there's a reason a guard is projected to go in the top 5. He's good, all right? You don't need a running back. I get it. I understand Saquon is this, that. I get it. I know he's hurt and all that stuff, all right? But if you're trying to beef up the offensive line, you draft the guard. You don't go after the shiny object. You draft the guard. All right. Very, very bad. Now, his signings, Dave Gettleman's signings. I mean, you can go on and on and on. I mean, like Nate Solder, Golden Tate, just to name a couple guys. I mean, some of those signings are really, really bad. The Giants have the least amount of money to spend next year, all but 2 teams. But we can't, we hopefully we can sign our draft picks next year, and that's pretty. We can get rid of Nate Solder, save some money, but some of the money we're going to save is going to go to sign our draft picks next year. I mean, we can't really bring anybody in. So if those draft picks next year don't help us out, guess what? We're going to be pretty much in the same boat as we were this year and the year before and the year before that. Now, as I said, Joe Judge. He's good at talking to the media, he makes you a believer, this, that, and the other thing. But then, some of the timeouts he calls, complaining about this or that, and it's like, do you really believe in the guy? Or if you do believe in him, do you believe in some of the guys he's bringing in? Patrick Graham. He has done a good job, but going back to the defense, last year, in 16 games, the defense gave up 400 yards of offense 5 times. This year, in 10 games, we've given up 400 or more 6 times in just 10 games. One game, we've given up over 500 yards of offense. We've given up yards. We can't cover anybody. We can't sack the quarterback. We can't get no pass rush. We have last year, in 16 games, we got 40 sacks, which was a phenomenal job. We didn't have a star edge rusher or anything like that. And we managed to get 40 sacks in 16 games. This year, in 10 games, we have 20 sacks. So we're getting 2 sacks a game, which, not really very good. But if you take away the Carolina game, we got 6 sacks in that game. Take that one game away. Now we have 14 sacks in 9 games, about a sack and a half a game. We're however you want to, we're worse than we were last year. And not only that, all right, but this year, okay, we got back Oshane Ximines, we got back Lorenzo Carter, we drafted Azeez Ojulari, we drafted Ellison Smith, and we got Quincy Roche from the Steelers. It was kind of like, it was like after, last year, it was like, oh, man, we had 40 sacks. Okay, all right, wait till we get Lorenzo Carter back and the X-Man back, Ximines back. All right. And then we draft, Azeez Ojulari, Ellison Smith in the 4th round. It's like, oh, man, we had 40 sacks last year. And then we get Quincy Roche. We got Quincy Roche. We added like 5 edge rushers that we really didn't have last year. And when Carter came back from injury, Ximines came back from injury, Ellison Smith, Azeez Ojulari, Quincy Roche, right? And we're worse than we were. He said, as I said, he would fix the offensive line. That's one of the first things he said. This is a big boys game. Got your hog mollies. We need to fix the offensive line. Really. As I said, when Saquon Barkley, his first draft, pick number 2, his first draft, right? He's drafted Saquon Barkley, and he let Quentin Nelson was on the board, didn't draft him, right? The Colts did. He could have traded back, got an extra draft pick or so, and still got Quentin Nelson. Didn't happen. Let's look at his Dave Gettleman's draft, 2018. He drafted Saquon Barkley. We needed to fix the offensive line. Okay, so in 2018, he got Will Hernandez. He drafted B.J. Hill, Kyle Oletta, R.J. McIntosh. All right. Will Hernandez has gone backwards. His first year, he was a 67.9 by Pro Football Focus. Okay. Second year was a 58.4. Third year was a 58.1. This year, he's a 50.9. He's going backwards. The one thing I like about him, he's very durable. First year, second year, and this year, he's played in every game. Right? Durable. But his points, he's getting worse. His Pro Football Focus, his grades are getting worse. And the game against the Buccaneers, oh my God, I think his pass blocking rate was a 6. Oh my, are you serious? Wow. After the 2018 season, okay, Pro Football Focus had our pass blocking grade was at 25. We're 25th by Pro Football Focus. Our run blocking grade was 16. So we weren't in the top half of anything, pass blocking and run blocking. So what happens in the 2019 draft? We draft Daniel Jones, Dexter Lawrence, and DeAndre Baker. Then we draft the X-Man, Oshane Ximines, Julian Love, Ryan Connolly, Darius Slayton, Corey Ballantyne, Chris Slayton in the 7th round. And then also in the 7th round, we drafted George Asafo Ajay, I think he is. He was a tackle out of Kentucky in the 7th round. So you have all of those draft picks. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 10 draft picks. And you draft, as horrible as our offensive line was in 2018, 2019 you have 10 picks and you wait till the 7th round to take somebody. Are you serious? After the 2019 season, we really didn't get much better. Our pass block grade was 16th. It was 16th by Pro Football Focus, and our run blocking fell back. Went from 16. Now we're 22. So 2 years, and our offensive line still stinks. So then 2020 rolls around. Then we draft, obviously Andrew Thomas, Xavier McKinney, Matt Parrott, Darnay Holmes, Shane Lemieux, Cam Brown, Carter Coughlin, T.J. Brunson, Chris Williamson, Tay Crowder. So we drafted. We got some. Okay. So we hit it hard. We first, 3rd, 5th round, bam, 3 offensive linemen hit it hard. Okay, good. All right. Well, after the season was over, our pass blocking grade by Pro Football Focus was 32. Run blocking grade was a 23. 3 years, and now our pass blocking grade is the worst in the NFL. And our run blocking is 23rd. Unbelievable. So we stink, absolutely stink on the offensive line. And then what do we do in the 2021 draft? Draft Kadarius Toney, Azeez Ojulari, Aaron Robinson, Ellerson Smith, Gary Brightwell, and Rodarius Williams. Not one offensive lineman. And as of right now, Pro Football Focus, pass blocking grade was still 32. We were 32 last year. We're still 32 this year. And our run blocking grade is a 23. We were 25, I'm sorry. Last year we were 23. Our run blocking grade now is a 25. I know we got some guys injured. I understand that. But, when you need to fix the line, there's a couple of years there we were on the line like last year. We were kind of healthy on the line. And we were like the worst in the league. We're not getting better. We were the worst in the league. And when you do have injuries, you need to have some quality backup. We don't have that. We have to trade for guys to get guys to come in. We don't have quality backup, and we don't have quality starters. I mean, did you really fix the offensive line? Unbelievable. Now, he drafted a bunch of edge rushers, right? We can't get any pressure. We drafted a few offensive linemen. We've signed a few offensive linemen. Offensive lineman stinks. So it either tells you one of a couple things, right? Is either we don't know how to draft, or our coaches stink, or both. So either the guys that we got coming in, right? Like remember Eric Flowers? He stunk at tackle. Well, he's okay now at guard for Washington football team. So either we can't draft, or the guys we do draft might be somewhat decent, but our coaches can't get the best out of them. It's like, go figure. All right. Now, John Mara, one thing it was what he said is that at the end of last year, he just wants to see an improvement. He's not saying we have to go to the playoffs or anything like that. I just want to see us be competitive, and I just want to see us win some more games. We're in the same boat every year. We're 3-7 right now. And there's no way, absolutely no way. I could say his last 7 games. That's what I'm saying. Even if we go 4-3, we'll be 7-10. That's pretty much about what we were last year. There's no improvement. We're not getting any better. Same old, same old, same old. And just to go one more thing is that. The New England Patriots. Now I realize they got Bill Belichick. I got that, but they lost the greatest quarterback of all time, possibly, arguably the greatest player of all time. Who went to another team. They got a rookie quarterback, and they're in first place. A rookie quarterback, and they're in first place. They're 7-4. We spent all money. Right, we draft all these players, this, that, and the other thing, and we're in last place. We're pretty much the laughing stock of the NFL. So you tell me, either we don't know how to get quality players in here, or we don't know how to coach the quality players that come in, or both. But regardless, John Mara needs to pretty much clean house, get a new GM in here, have him bring in his own coach, and have him decide the fate of Daniel Jones. If it's time for Daniel Jones to go, get rid of him. But you can't get rid of he had Dave Gettleman, get Joe Judge, get rid of Joe Judge, bring somebody else in who may not want this quarterback, right? Get rid of that quarterback. Well, now this GM's not tied to that quarterback. You got to have them all. The way it is nowadays, you got to have them all. You got to clear house. You got to get a new GM who picks a new coach, who picks his own quarterback. It's the way it's got to be. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!